Today we're talking with Della Ferguson, Continued Care Coordinator for W.J. Jones and Sons Funeral Home and Family Resource Center. Della's sharing with us today about coping with grief and loss at Christmas. Della, can you tell us why is Christmas so difficult for the bereaved?
Christmas is so filled with tradition, right? It's a time when people are laced in family and gatherings, and so it emphasizes that empty chair, that missing person. And I find for the bereaved, they're thinking about it in July. They're anticipating Christmas from then on with there's this heaviness so often. I've had people say, I just want it to fast track to January 5th to just get through Christmas and New Year's, and they find it so difficult. It's so hard because there's so many traditions that that person was a part of. Maybe their role was putting up the Christmas lights or passing out the gifts at the Christmas gathering. Maybe they were the shopper. Maybe they were just the one that brought the enthusiasm of the gathering. And so you find that they're missing that role that they played. They're missing them just in the fact that there's an empty chair at that table. So it's a profoundly challenging time for the bereaved.
What can people do to help them cope with Christmas?
Well, the first thing I would like to suggest is that they be very gentle and patient and kind with themselves through this process, because grief takes so much energy. And when it comes around to these special milestone events in a year, that energy is amplified towards grief and adjusting to this change in their life. And so be gentle and patient and kind to yourself, because you're going to be running on a lot less energy. And that being said, I think it's really important that you be realistic about your expectations on yourself, that you be realistic about what you expect for the planning. You know, maybe it's simplify things, and think of it just for this year, that this year I need to maybe not keep the traditions that I've always had. Maybe this year I'm going to not do all the baking that I always did. Maybe this year we're going to go away for Christmas, you know, and just to think of it, that's just for this year. It doesn't mean we have to change it forever, but for right now, what do I need that's going to help me move through this? And I'm a real believer in let go of any of the shoulds, right? I should get those Christmas cards done. I should go to that event. I should have all these gifts wrapped by this date. And to again, be realistic and simplify. And what is it that I can see myself able to do? What do I need help with? And give yourself permission to actually ask for help. That's just huge. You know, there's usually a support circle of people that would love to help out in some way. They just don't know how. And if you were to say, I'm finding it really hard to wrap these presents, would you mind coming over for a tea and we'll wrap together, right? And so little things like that to give yourself permission. And I think that's a term I really hone in on. Give yourself permission to do it a little different this year so that it is going to serve you well, and it's going to not be as stressful. And so, yeah, there's lots of little tweaks we can make to help ourselves to make changes. The other part is to give yourself permission to include your beloved in Christmas. We have on December 6th, our Morning Star Christmas service for the bereaved. And that's an opportunity for people to come and to remember, to honor, to light a candle, to sit in quiet and serenity in the midst of that busy time of year around, and just to focus on their beloved. And people find that a very healing thing to do. And there's things we can do at home that include our beloved. Maybe it's having a Christmas candle in the center that we light as an honor. Maybe it's toasting them. Maybe it's having a little stand with their picture and a candle lit throughout the season. You know, there's many ways. Some people give Christmas gifts to charities in memory of their beloved. So don't try and avoid and think you have to skirt them. Bring them into it and include them in some meaningful way.
Yeah. How can you support someone who's grieving it during holidays?
Well, I think it's so important to honor how tough this is for them, right? And to honor that is to listen to them, to ask them, how are you doing with this? I can't imagine how difficult Christmas is going to be without your beloved there. You know, it's to offer your help. Those little things that I mentioned earlier, maybe it's anticipating, you know, would you like me to come help out with some baking? You know, would you like me to take you shopping? You know, can I help in any way to alleviate those kind of stresses and pressures that we put on ourselves? Or maybe it's inviting them, you know, could I take you to the Morning Star service? Or could I take you to that Christmas Eve ceremony so that you're not feeling so alone in that? You know, would you like to come for Christmas dinner at our home? Right? There's many people who are feeling pretty alone at the holidays, and they need to feel connected. And you know, there's also charity events that are happening in our communities, and so maybe it's encouraging them, giving them that option, maybe saying, I'd be willing to go and work with you at that Christmas Inn meal. Would you like to come and do that as something totally different? So it's just being present, and again, no shoulds. So don't should on our friends and our family and tell them what they should do. Ask them what they need. Shift it over, change that up, and just let them know you're thinking of them. You know, acknowledging the significance is huge for the bereaved. You know, sometimes it's that simplest of gestures that says, they understand, they get me, right?
They care.
They care, yeah.
And Della, do you have any last thoughts?
Well, you know, personally, I think Christmas is really just about love. And so, how to love yourself, right? Be gentle and patient and kind. Take care of yourself. That's a loving thing. And then allow yourself to project that love toward your beloved in memory. That love lives on. And then reach out for the love and support and surround yourself with loving people. That's what it's all about.
Thank you, Della, for such great information. Thank you for coming.
Thanks, Donna.
Thank you.